Hey everyone, it's Pete here. This is Kate, rocking the PTBO Northern Originals new sweatshirt.
Look at this thing. You can get one over at Flavor.
I love it. Kate, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do we begin with Kate Suhr?
Where do we begin? I am from this wonderful town.
I thought you were from Indian River. Come on.
Come on. I'm
All
from
right.
Peterborough. I was born at the hospital here in Peterborough.
Civic or St. Joe's?
Civic.
Okay.
Yeah, Civic. And then we moved out to Indian River.
Right.
I lived there for about, 14 years.
Right.
And then
The formative years.
The formative years, yeah. Lots of playing in the fields and, making forts. It was a great childhood.
Yeah.
My dad worked for John Deere.
Come on through. Come on by.
there.
Yeah, you got a job to do. It's all good. We can't keep the coffee from being delivered.
Can't. Start a riot.
So your dad worked.
So my dad worked for John Deere, so there were.
Did he make tractors or sell them?
He
or
sold them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there were lots of opportunities to drive tractors and four-wheelers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So we had a great childhood.
Okay, so then you go from there, and
So
then
great
where do you go?
childhood, and then we moved into Peterborough. I went to PCBS.
Yes.
And that was wonderful. And I was the last grade 13, so the double cohort.
Yeah.
And PCBS shut down.
The old OACs.
Tragic. The old OACs.
Yeah.
And then from there, I just traveled around, and I haven't stopped.
That's awesome.
Traveling around.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's an adventure, right? And
It is an adventure.
and you're kind of just going day to day, week to week, having
Really,
fun.
I am. Yeah.
Right? Like musicians do and artists do. Okay. So you go, and when do you start really getting serious about music? When, was that at PCBS or before that?
Yeah, I had a passion for sports as well as music.
Oh yeah?
So I
What was
did
your sport?
baseball. I loved baseball, and I loved volleyball.
Yep.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that world, and I thought maybe I would go into kinesiology for a hot
Sure.
second.
Yeah.
And then it changed just because I loved to sing so much.
Yep.
It felt almost like if I wasn't singing, I wasn't my happiest self.
Okay.
So that became kind of like an instigator that I needed to go forward. So I did, and I went to Western University for opera.
So we're going down to Market Hall.
Yeah, we're gonna do some singing.
An amazing stage that you've performed on before.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites that I've ever performed on.
And this show is 2 years in the making because of stupid COVID, right?
Yes, unfortunately, it was canceled in March of 2020.
Yep.
Then Chad Hogan, who runs the hall, he
Yep.
called and he said, "I think it's time. Let's do this."
Yep. So Kate, we're talking on our way down. You had a couple jobs right here in downtown Peterborough growing up at the hardware store.
Yeah. One of my first jobs was at Home Hardware on Simcoe Street.
Yeah.
I worked there for a little while. I did a lot of babysitting for people in town.
At the store? Oh,
No, for people in town, like Turco Tile.
Shout out to Turcos, yeah.
Shout out to
Steve
Turco.
Turco?
Steve Turco,
Yeah.
Michelle Turco. And I also helped run this TD summer reading group with the libraries,
Right.
in Smith Ennismore and Bridgenorth
Nice.
area. And then I also worked at Sherbrooke Heights.
Wow, the fancy nursing home.
Yeah, I did.
Or, I don't know if it's a nursing home,
It's a
but
retirement home.
Yeah, but it's a good one.
And I served
It's a high-end
eggs
one.
and
Oh, yeah.
dinner and cleaned rooms.
It'd be like Eggs Benedict there because it's such a fancy place.
Yeah, that was a lovely time. in my life.
That must have been new then. It must have
It
been
was
fairly
new.
Yeah.
And then I started when I stopped working there. I actually started going back to sing.
You do the Western University thing. You're a Mustang, and then what? What happens then?
I had some unfortunate family troubles during that time. My dad became very sick, and so I decided to move home. So I quit school, and I moved home and stayed with my family for a while. And once things felt a little bit more stable, I decided to go to Humber College.
Yep.
So I changed focus. I went to Humber College for 4 years, and I received a contemporary Bachelor of Music. I think that's what you call it. I don't use it. I don't use that bachelor.
Sounds good.
I've spent a lot of money for it.
Sounds like a $60,000 certificate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was
But
still
good for you,
very
though.
rewarding because of the networking. There are so many wonderful musicians and friends.
And
that
you
I
did it
met
during a
at
tougher
college.
time by the sounds of it too. You
Yeah.
fought through it and stuff.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And so
So good on you.
That's
Yeah.
what I did. I finished school there, and then I moved to Toronto. And I started working at a bar there, and I worked there for 6 years. And during that time, I I mean, I just tried to start auditioning and things like that.
I'm going to throw out a couple names.
Okay.
Okay, and I want you to, like, in 15 seconds or less, just describe what they mean to you.
It's a lot of pressure.
I know, but I'm going to start with Linda Cash.
Oh, dear, dear beloved friend, mentor, sister, friend, you know.
Super
I think I
talented.
just said friend a couple of times.
Yeah. Greg Keeler from Blue Rodeo.
Mentor, watch from afar in awe, and feel completely humbled when I get to be in the same space as him. Just, I think his spirit is so generous and kind, and I met him through Melissa Payne.
Right. Well, yeah, and then it's all, everyone's connected. It seems to Uncle Carl Lawson as well. He seems to have brought a lot of people together. So I'll shoot that name out at you, Carl Lawson, Uncle Carl.
Oh, he's just this sweet soul who always wants to see people do their best, and he's a networker, and he's generous with his time. He's a lovely man.
He'll probably be at your show. Megan Murphy, your roomie.
Yeah, roomie, family, just best bud.
Has there ever been a day where she hasn't made you laugh? Just by something she's done?
Well, I joke about this all the time with her. There's nothing more funny than watching Meg Murphy crack up at Meg Murphy's own jokes. So, you know,
I can see that.
She cracks a joke. It may or may not be that funny.
But she thinks it is.
Then she howls, and then you can't help but start laughing. So that's the most infectious thing.
That's awesome.
She's family. She's
right on. Melissa Payne.
all my peeps.
Right.
She's also a sister. She's been a great friend for quite a few years now, and we met through performing. I would always watch her on stage and think, oh my gosh, I wish that I could just be like her and play like her. And I am in awe of Melissa Payne. And so we played a fundraiser together.
Yeah.
And the rest was history. Then we didn't want to stop playing with one another. She's very generous on stage and as a friend.
She's amazing, for sure. Yeah. Well, listen, she's going to be part of your show. It is March 25th here.
March 25th. It's a Friday night. It's at 7 p.m. There'll be Linda Cash.
Yep.
We have Jeff Bemrose, Megan Murphy. I don't know if you don't know her. She's going to be with us. And then we also have Shannon McCracken, who is an amazing singer. She performs a lot in Toronto. She's here in Peterborough.
Wow.
And she will be singing, as well as Denise Utrecht might make an appearance.
Okay.
She's from Toronto, and she is the lovely wife of my pianist, my accompanist, Anthony Bastianin. So they're all.
So she's going to be here. She might as well perform.
Yeah, she's incredible.
That's awesome. So it sounds like it's going to be a great night. It was so much my pleasure to get to know you a bit more and find out some things about you. Hopefully people think the same thing as well. And you're gonna rock this place on March 25th. Thanks for your time, and thanks for the coffee.
Thank you, and thank you for the support from PTBO Canada.
Yeah.
And
Darling Insurance bringing you this little segment.
Oh, Darling Insurance.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of Hometown PTBO, brought to you by Darling Insurance.